All right, we are live, Alvin. Welcome, everybody. We appreciate you joining us on another episode of Data Mastery, Marketing for Modern Growth. I'm here, the host, Jason Reno. I'm one of the founders here at Data Accelerator. Joining me is my partner, our Chief Technology Officer, Alvin Reyes, another partner here at Data Accelerator, and we're excited. I was doing this show a while back, and we kind of took a break for a short while. A lot of new things going on with Data Accelerator that we're excited to start talking about here and really start trying to just give as much education as possible through these episodes in terms of the possibilities that businesses have with data. I mean, one of the biggest things that Alvin and I see on a regular basis is just businesses don't realize the possibilities of what's out there in terms of capturing data of people hitting your site, in terms of finding data of people already in market for your products or services, so you can utilize warm audiences versus just cold open audiences. And there's a lot going on, a lot of success stories that we have that we're going to share that we'll get into a little deeper dive on some future episodes. But right now, just kind of wanted to bring everybody up to speed, introduce Alvin, since he'll be co-hosting with me moving forward, and go from there. Alvin, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. It's still early in the morning, but I'm good.
Early. It's 11 o'clock our time.
Yeah, I didn't have a good sleep last night.
Oh, no? Right on. Yeah, I got something going on with my face, this allergic thing. Like it actually looks a little better now, but yesterday it looked like I took a punch from Mike Tyson right in the nose.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's just kind of bring everybody up to date in terms of what we're doing. For the longest time, we were strictly working with just the pixel, our pixel data. Just to clarify, or to bring everybody that does not know about it, our pixel is just like a Facebook or Google or any other ad platform's pixel. We're going to install one line of JavaScript, or you're going to install one line of our JavaScript code onto your website in the global settings, and we're going to be able to identify or resolve identities of about 50 to 60% of those individuals that are visiting your site. So let's just say your site has a 3% conversion rate. That means 97% of the people are bouncing away without converting. And statistically, at least about 70% of those people are never going to come back to your site. So out of all those individuals that are bouncing away, we're able to capture the identities of about half of those individuals, and then within the same day, stream them back into any ad platform, email CRM, LinkedIn outreach system, really anything that you want. I like to say we can take a lead from anywhere. So I don't care where the click comes from, whether it's paid advertising, SEO, an influencer, you bribe somebody to click on your site, it doesn't really matter. Once we get the click to the site, we have a 50 to 60% chance of grabbing that identity and then streaming it everywhere that you want. So with Facebook's pixel, you're beholden to Facebook. You have to pump more money back into Facebook in order to retarget those individuals. Where with our pixel, we can send the data back into Facebook. Alvin, correct me if I'm wrong, oftentimes with a higher match rate than Facebook's pixel has, because we're using HEMS instead of email addresses and a few other things. But then we're also able to take that same identity and retarget them, say on YouTube ads or TikTok ads, or we can put them in our demand side platform and set 1 million tripwires across the internet on monetized sites. So wherever they go on the internet, you can now follow them, get in front of them at a higher frequency than your competition. So that way, what I like to say is we get you on the short list. When that buyer comes, when it comes time to buy and that person's ready to pull the trigger, we want your brand, your business, yourself on that short list of the 2 to 3 individuals that they're actually going to give their information to, book a call with, and give the opportunity to earn their trust in business. Did I miss anything there with the pixel, Alvin?
Yeah. Even right now, we're in October, so it's election season. We're seeing about $200, $300 CPMs for ourselves, and we're doing a B2B play to generate more leads for Data Accelerator. One good way, another angle that we tell our clients, like, you should try programmatic ads, like a trade desk that we have a private seat on. So we're able to control the CPMs on there. So if I want $7 CPMs, $10 CPMs, using our data, first-party data, the in-market data, we could do stuff like that on programmatic ads. And now pretty much we're serving banner ads all over on the open internet outside of social media ads, and likely your competition is not even doing this. They're probably they're probably doing it on GDN, Google Display Network, but being on a DSP network, you have a lot more targeting options. You could layer on demographic data, income data, the old school Facebook targeting like 10 years ago that we were
Yeah,
doing.
back when it was
That
the
never
Wild West.
We can still do that stuff right now with our data on programmatic ads, which is awesome. And just
Yeah,
getting the lower CPMs, that's we people should be taking advantage of that right now.
and you know what's you brought up a really good point. I mean, between Q4 and then the election season, I mean, between CPMs and cost per leads, everything is just going haywire. So this is now the perfect time for businesses to incorporate data, start what I like to say, hunting with the sniper rifle, using your data, leveraging your data. And it's like I kind of joke around. It's like stop letting Google and Facebook and all these other platforms own and control and monetize your data. Let us show you how to capture that data that you've already spent time, energy, effort, and money to get to your site. Now put in what we like to refer to as a marketing insurance policy, install the pixel, start capturing 50 to 60% of those identities. And then yeah, demand side platform I think is going to be a really good alternative for a lot of businesses that want to target a specific person or don't want to pay 5x what they're normally paying during Q4 here.
Yeah, one case study we talked to a client. He does politics news, and he has about 3 million website visitors a month. On day one, we've identified about 75,000 people on his site on day one. Day 20, we've identified 2 million out of the 3 million website visitors. So that's
Oh
about
wow!
a
So
six
that's I was
percent.
gonna say I was gonna say that's a lot higher than 50%, and that's funny.
Yeah.
We've actually been seeing that on a few sites where I feel like the
Yes.
uh, the resolution rate's kind of ticking up. Even I still like to say 50 to 60% to be safe,
Yeah.
but
It's
I forget what it was. But Sharika was saying we had one where we did the numbers and it was like 70% or
yeah.
72% it came out to, right?
Yeah. And then like the other thing too is like he was working with another vendor, and then he wanted to compare our data apples to apples, and he said, yeah, our data is up to par. And just hearing that alone is just like proof.
Well, that and it's like we've talked about it, like we tell clients, our data is all are also verified. When our
Mhm.
when our pixel data, when it's resolved, it's pinged off an ESP, it's verified to make sure it's a valid email address. Where I don't think we've had anybody emailing the pixel data that has under like a 97% deliverability rate, right?
Yeah, typically our delivery rates with our data, with emails, the raw email, is about 96, 99% delivery rates. The cool thing about this is when you want to use like an unbounce or a verification email tool, behind the scenes, our emails are being pinged with 19 other data vendors. Like, hey, does Alvin Reyes at Gmail, is this in your database? And when were they last active? Right. So you're getting like 19 confirmations from other data aggregators to confirm that our email is good and legit. And this is the data that we provide to our clients.
Gotcha. And then we obviously like monitor like the opt outs, that type of
Yes.
stuff. So we're not just trying to send our clients as much data as possible. The goal is to send the highest quality data, even to the extent, I mean, let's even talk about how when somebody bounces off the site, we can identify what pages they visited. So if you have an e-com brand or if you have somebody that has multiple pages, it's super valuable to know, hey, did this person just visit the homepage and never clicked anywhere else? Probably not a lot of intent there. But now take the person that clicked on the homepage, went to the pricing page, and then went to two or three different products pages. Well, shoot, let's prioritize that person and make sure that we're following up with them, as quickly as possible because they clicked around and spent some time on the site and showed, additional layers of intent, basically.
Yeah, I always tell clients that people landing on your site, and especially if they're going a couple pages deep internally on your lander or on your main website, like that is the closest thing to a website conversion or a lead. That is the
Now,
goal that you want to nurture. Ideally, like, with our pixel, we're able to do email nurture sequences off that. But again, we're able to identify, hey, this is the last page URL that you visited. Like, let's go filter out all the people that did that took that type of action, and we could create a segment out of that and do lookalikes from it.
exactly. Or better yet, a lot of our data also has additional demographic and firmographic information. So you have a client, let's just say, that might, have 50,000 clicks to the website. We identified 25,000 of them. Well, now out of that 25,000, what if we could tell you, hey, here's, out of that 25,000, here's 3 or 4,000 that make over $100,000 a year, or that are verified homeowners, or that some other additional layer of qualification or disqualification. So now instead of just targeting all 25 or retargeting all 25,000, we can now narrow that down, target just kind of the cream of the crop, and then take that, the best of the best, and now pump that back up to the middle of the funnel and start doing lookalike audiences like you just mentioned, where again, when you own the data, you can do all that. You can't go to Facebook and be like, hey, I just want to retarget people making over $100,000 a year. I don't want to retarget anybody. Hey, can you tell me what percentage of my visitors are homeowners, or have kids in the household? I mean, all this additional information that we're getting that we deliver to the clients is insanely valuable. And what clients don't realize, most of these clients, or potential clients, you're talking to them and it's like, oh, you have 20,000 website visitors. I can deliver 10,000 identities within the first 30 days. That sounds great. But now when it's like, hey, now let's think about this as this compounds. Now in 6 months from now, I would have delivered you 60 to 70,000 identities. Now imagine going into Q4 in 2025 with your ecom brand with 120,000 plus people in your warm database that you can have warm access to, run ads to, things like that. And then that's when people really, like, you kind of see that aha moment that they have where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like 30 days, there's going to be some benefit. But as the data grows and compiles and, everything else, it just makes it more and more valuable, and just more and more valuable.
Yeah. One cool thing, we had to talk with a president of an acquisition company. I think all they do is acquire companies, struggling ecom brands. And like at first he wasn't like unsure, like until like he wasn't really warmed up with all the data. But as soon as I started getting like really technical, like of the things that we could do with it, I kind of like future paced it where, hey, what if, every time you bought a struggling ecom brand where you have to like restructure, rebrand, reinvest to, make it stronger. Like, what if we were to able to have a pixel, build your own identity graph for each brand. And then now that you guys have your own data, you could have like one large super database within your acquisition group. And then imagine that, having that data for over a year, you're probably going to have a couple million of identities for your own acquisition or your capital group company. And then imagine if you wanted to sell your portfolio and you have a large database of data attached to that. That would make your company even more valuable to sell.
Yeah, without obviously mentioning this company name, but like in this
Yes.
particular company, it makes even more sense because they're all within outdoor products. So they're selling like Western wear, fishing lures, fishing rods. Like it's all that kind of that same, like everybody that they sell to is kind of that same targeting avatar demographic. So somebody that's buying a cowboy hat likely wants to buy a fishing pole or a fishing lure down the road, or some other type of like outdoor equipment, and vice versa. So that's where, if they could have, if the holding company has this one gigantic database from all, let's just say 5 or 6, or I think they're up to like 8 companies last time we talked to them, but up to 8 companies. And I just want to throw out there too, that the reason why we're getting in so good with this company is because this is their media buyer, Kevin, sent us this text a while back, raving about Alvin, how it says, Alvin, ever since we started using your in-market data, you've cut down our cost per purchase by 80%. We were getting $200 cost per purchases, and now we're down seeing $30 to $50 cost per purchases. This is freaking amazing. We definitely want to use your data on all of our outdoor brands. So, I mean, we didn't just come in and like, hey, boom, here it is. We had to come in and earn the trust, earn the respect. This particular Western wear brand had a $200 client acquisition cost, selling like a $300 product. It didn't really pencil out. Now we're down to a $30 to $50 client acquisition cost, selling the same $300 product. And now we're looking to scale and add in these additional companies.
Yep. We got it working within the first week. Obviously, we want to test fast as quickly as possible with as many lookalike audience as possible. And we always tell clients, like, having our data is really just, you're starting from third base, right? You have an advantage, you have an edge over competition, because we are definitely leveraging, you know, Google's transactional PPC keywords inside of their Facebook ads. So now all their ads have behavioral intent. People that are searching for those boots or those Western wear on the open internet, we're taking that behavior and feeding it via a live stream inside of their Facebook ads, and it's working. We've got it to work in a bunch of different niches in the past 5 years with
And that's
success.
what and that's what kind of segments is in. We got about 5 minutes or so left here before I want to wrap this up. But
Okay.
that kind of segments is into the in-market data. So
Yes.
everything, what we had mentioned before, what I explained was the pixel data. Those are people that have already visited your site that we're capturing the identity. And that's our post-click tool. But we actually take a step back and have what's called a pre-click data stream, and that is in-market data. So this is transactional PPC keyword based data stream. So we're going to identify the top 10 to 15 short term transactional keywords that would put somebody in market for your product or service. We then take those short tail transactional keywords, expand them into a long tail keyword list based off search volume. We're then able to identify anybody searching for those. The in market keyword list ends up being anywhere from like 1,500 to 3,000 keywords. We're able to identify individuals searching for those specific keywords, stream that directly into your ad platform, and then segment the data based off those initial 10 to 15 drill down keywords. So now you have a ton of high intent individuals that literally just search for, let's just say, roofing contractor near me, best roofing contractor near me. And then the very next day, 24 hours or less, you're now showing them your ad from your roofing contractor ad, adding value, you're 10% off, here's the top 10 things to shop for when looking for a roof, whatever the case is. And what I like to tell people, or Alvin likes to say third base, I basically say just cut out the top end of your funnel. There is no more top, middle, and bottom of your funnel, because in theory, most of the time that when we talk to people, 70% of their ad spend gets blown at the top end of the funnel trying to find those intent-based users. And then you're only left with 30% to kind of retarget the hot leads and stay in front of them. Where with our funnels, I'm saying put 70% like in the middle of the funnel, take our high intent data, insert it in the middle of the funnel, deliver your best ads and offer to them, get as much high quality, high intent traffic to your site, and then you're still left with a full 30%, give or take, for the bottom of the funnel that you can stay in front of and retarget these individuals at a substantially higher frequency than your competitor can, because you own the data and you're not beholden to that specific platform. What I
Yeah.
miss, Alvin?
No, this is good. I mean, like somebody asked, like, hey, does this work like locally? So one case study we got this work was on a personal injury lawyer in California, and actually in Los Angeles. So we were targeting Los Angeles and all of California, the state, and then we got it to work both site visitor and in-market data. All we just did was just lookalike audiences, and the previous agency, like, we weren't managing the ads, we were just providing the data, and then we were working with the media buyer to, hey, to make sure the optimizations, the data is working, finding pockets. And the previous agency before the data, they were getting $300, $600 cost per lead. With our data, we were seeing like sub $100 leads within the first month. And I think in the first month, we generated about 80 leads, and they got about 4 cases signed in that first month or two. So if it does it work locally, yes, it does. Obviously, it's not going to work right away. Sometimes it will work right away. It just depends. So that's why we work really closely with the media buyers on a weekly optimization meeting or data strategy. Like, we have to handhold. Uh, we have to do some handholding with the media buyers to make in the first couple of weeks to make sure, hey, this is what you should be looking out for. This is what we've seen with other clients. This is how it works with other clients. If we see patterns, we'll let the client know, like, watch out for this, and this is how it should work.
Yeah, perfect. Because I mean, and just to clarify, it's not, we don't come at people from a consulting standpoint with theoretical information. Everything that Alvin and our team from a consulting standpoint advises on is all stuff that we've done in the past. We got really good at using this data in the addiction treatment space, managing hundreds of thousands of dollars a month within the addiction treatment space, where you have PII, HIPAA, and all that other stuff, in the mix there that you have to deal with. And the data was actually able to work insanely well. I mean, right now, one of our largest clients, on an average, we're booking 20 appointments per day with their veteran care advocates, and we generate leads for somewhere between $10 to $15 per lead in the addiction treatment space, when industry average is probably like $300 to $500. I mean, but again, like Alvin said, and what I like to tell clients up front is the data is not the linchpin. It's not going to cure a crappy offer, a crappy landing page, and a crappy product. But if you have the outline there, the framework, you have a quality offer, a converting landing page, and you have a good product that you can fulfill on, the data helps you fail faster. And I say that, and most people don't like to say that, but it's, when you're scaling online ads, it realistically takes sometimes like 3 to 6 months to find the winners, to find the audiences, to work with the algorithms. And what our data does is it allows it to shrink that failing period substantially, lessen that failure period. So let's plug in the data, test fast, fail fast, and be able to find our scalable ads within a 3 to 6 week time frame, instead of a 3 to 6 month time frame, saving our clients thousands and thousands of dollars in ad spend and letting them get to those, acceptable KPIs and results substantially faster, without having to test and, have sleepless nights for 6 months, fingers crossed that your stuff's going to work, right?
Yeah, I mean, with the addiction space, we actually, for the veteran side, we are actually seeing $5 cost per leads on the retargeting side, and we're also getting it to work. We're getting incoming phone calls off Facebook and YouTube ads as well with the data.
Well, what's crazy is they convert too. I mean, I don't even know how many leads we get. I just look at the appointments, but I mean, there's 20 appointments booked per day, and we're typically booked 3 to 4 days out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and we got to wrap this up here in a minute, but let's just call it we probably generate 3,000 to 6,000 leads in the addiction treatment space for the one client, and we funnel, let's just call it 3,000 leads through an AI chat bot down to about 500 to 600 booked appointments per month.
Yes.
And then, not to mention, the chat bot still follows up with all those other non-booked appointments basically forever. It's just a chat bot. They can sit there, and it's just in this closed loop where we now see people that might have filled out a lead. They were interested in addiction treatment, but then they kind of got cold feet. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, they reply to a text message that they're ready to go. And now they're, in the process. But a lot of cool stuff we can do with the data. I was wondering if we were going to have something to talk about on this first episode, since we just kind of winged it, but I feel like we could keep going here if we really wanted to. Yeah. But that's good. We got another episode coming up next week. We're going to try to drop at least one of these per week. So like, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, we're everywhere. Find us, like, subscribe. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can book a call at dataaccelerator.ai. And Alvin and I are looking forward to the opportunity to work with you guys. We're signing off. Take care, everybody.
See ya.